Hey guys, welcome back to 4Games. We've got a pretty special video for you guys today in the sense that we're actually trying out ZeniMax and Bethesda's new massively multiplayer online role-playing game of the Elder Scrolls universe. So this is the Elder Scrolls Online and it's currently in it's in beta, but it's in invitation only, sort of closed beta press release stuff. So we're looking to sort of just give you guys a bit of an overview, an impressions video, maybe show you guys some of the game, some of what you might have heard about, whether it's true or not. There's been a lot of rumours flying around about this game, so...
Indeed, we're not starting at the beginning of this beat, because this is going to be more of an impressions video, but we're sort of arsing around in the second zone you get to at the moment. Which is sort of, I guess it's the first sort of main zone of the game, because the first two zones are very, very small and introductory.
Yeah, and I personally didn't want to start off the video showing you guys just a leveling video from levels 1 upwards, as that would contain huge spoilers and detract from your actual enjoyment of the game when you play it. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the mechanic systems, what the game's about, how you go about doing things, and things like that. So as you can see at the moment, I'm on my character select screen and you can see the game looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely fantastic. Every graphic here is turned up to ultra or full, so this is as good as the game will look. I've chosen to play a high elf. My first character I created was a Bosma, which is the wood elves, but as you will find out yourselves, race choice, it does kind of matter. I know there's been a lot of discussion flying around saying you can basically, it doesn't matter what you pick because you can make your character anything, equip any weapon, but actually class and race choice are probably two of the things that do matter. If you want to play a melee DPS, you know, you're going to want to choose a class like a Nightblade that has a much better skill set to do that. If you want to play a healer, there's only two classes that can really fulfill a healing role. And race choice is important because each race has its own racial skill lines. And I personally wish to play a healer, and the Bosma just has no synergy, no good racial traits to complement being a healer, so that's why I've re-rolled as a high elf and Ultima.
My character is also an Ultima. I'm a Dragon Knight, which is a sort of melee class. So we're sort of attempting to synergize our two skill sets, as in I just get healed as I hit stuff in the face. That's worked well so far.
It works out quite nicely, as I'm quite squishy, so you know, you can take the beats, do a bit of tanking, and I can stand at the back and heal. Right, so enough of staring at my character. I think we should actually load into the game and we'll show you guys what we're talking about.
Unfortunately, where we're at in the game is a bugged quest, which is not the first impression we really wish to communicate, but you know, there it is, it's beta, probably going to be bugged quests. Hopefully they're fixed by the time the game goes live. And it also appears to be the quest that allows us to progress in the story.
Which quest was that? I don't seem to remember this.
The unveiling, to defeat a certain character who is evil.
Right, so here we are in game. There we go, that just took a second for everything to load then. So this game, you've obviously heard rumours about you being able to play in first person and third person. The game is really intended to be played in third person, though ZeniMax threw in a first person support for a sort of nod to the die-hard Elder Scrolls fans who like to play in first person. The only thing I'll say about playing in first person is that as an MMO, you do need a certain amount of spatial awareness, either in PvP with other players coming up behind you and attacking you, or in dungeons or PvE content. And playing in first person, there's just a lot more to look out for in an MMO than in a Skyrim sort of game where everything's offline and you only really have the AI to worry about. So I would personally recommend you played in third person. You're also going to need to ignore my UI a little, as I have downloaded an add-on which slightly alters and enhances my UI. It's not quite standard.
Yeah, you're polluting the pure UI that Bethesda want you to have.
So as you can see, the game looks absolutely stunning. My personal one gripe with the way the game looks is that we are currently on the Somerset Isles, home of the Aldmeri Dominion and the Altmer, and it's supposed to be one of the most luscious and rich environments in Tamriel. And my gripe with it is that everything just looks a bit brown. The colours don't really pop at you. I kind of wanted there to be more saturation and just a bit more richness and life. Everything just looks a bit dull.
Yeah, the grass is a bit too patchy and not as green as I would like. Grass should be green, especially on these islands.
So I've got a mount which can be ridden by pressing, I think it's H. I think I just pressed H. Mounts are actually really expensive. It's kind of one of the gold things. The reason I've been able to afford one is because I pre-ordered and have paid for the Imperial edition of the game, and one of the perks for that is being able to buy the Imperial horse for 100 gold.
Short story, you're horsing around.
This game has a day-night cycle. I'm not quite sure exactly how long it takes to go through the day-night cycle. It also has weather effects, as you can see.
Yes, now I came up here to see if Maloney is up, but regrettably this is the boat quest mob that we need to kill in order to progress the story. And unfortunately she's not up, and there are lots of people standing around. So I'm just going to leave and find something else to do in my life.
One of the big mechanics of combat here, as you can see, is sort of dodging and also blocking. Blocking is something that you can do, which is something that you've really been unable to do in an MMO before this Elder Scrolls. You block by holding down right click, and that reduces the damage you take from any incoming projectiles or attacks and consumes a little stamina. You can also interrupt by holding down block and then left clicking to sort of do a pushback interrupt. You have a light attack by just left clicking, and a heavy attack by holding down left click. Beyond that you have 5 active abilities and an ultimate and a quick slot for like potions.
I have a charge which constantly bugs out.
Attacking and being a DPSer is quite similar to other MMO experiences you may have had in the past. Healing in this game, however, isn't. Most MMOs, like say Warcraft or other MMOs that involve healers, make use of unit frames to select who you wish to cast a heal on and then unleash the heal. In this game you don't have the ability to control unit frames or sort of select who you're targeting, so most of the heals are smart heals or area heals, which again some people have sort of criticised as taking control away from the player, and as a healer I can understand that, because it does feel less challenging to just constantly pop smart heals or AoE heals, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean the combat system is essentially a fusion between the World of Warcraft hotkey system and the traditional combat system you would find in Elder Scrolls, which is essentially just swinging wildly at your opponent. As in, you still swing wildly at your opponent, but you can also use abilities that have cooldowns and cost mana, magicka, I suppose, I should say. Get the in-game terminology right.
Yeah, so this is the map of the island, one of the isles of the Somerset Isles we're on, called Auridon. And currently we only have 2 quests. One of them's a bit high level and involves going in a dungeon, the other one is bugged. So one of the great things about this Elder Scrolls game is questing does involve exploration. You may have 1 or 2 main storyline quests that take you through the zone, but most of the quests that you will complete are ones that you will just come across by exploring, which I think is great, because it really, it means if you want to do everything, you have to go everywhere and explore everything, and if you just fast track through the zone, you will miss out on a lot of content. So we're probably just going to venture north a little bit and explore around this area of the map that we haven't discovered, and I guarantee there will be a quest or 2 for us to pick up.
Fortunately, so this has been, I think, the first quest we've been unable to complete thus far in this particular beta session. So it's not terrible, although it is a pretty annoying quest to be bugged.
Yeah, I was actually able to complete that quest on my other character in the last playthrough, in the last beta test session there was, so it's just this time she doesn't seem to be spawning. So
Up here is the Shattered Grove, which looks pretty shattered.
Yeah, exactly. So, and here we are. There's a quest.
Is it involving shattering things? Because we are in the Shattered Grove. Curse you and your damn whore. Aren't we supposed to be getting a quest from a statue? This place is blighted. Everywhere we go, there's some bullshit going on. Nowhere we go is there just a village getting on with their lives normally. There's always some fucking calamity, and we have to come and sort it out.
Who are you? Wait. Not important. You're new, and not a statue. I can use that. Ah, yes, I did it. I turned them to stone, but for a good reason. It was the only way to protect them from the savage beasts. The animals here are normally very tame. Energies in the wood. Now they're vile and bloodthirsty. I believe they've been possessed by Daedra. I lost some of my apprentices to the beasts, so when I made it back to town, I cast a spell that would protect everyone. It was the only way. As long as those creatures prowl the woods, we're in danger. I believe the monoliths in the woods have something to do with the Daedric influence. Dispel their energies. Hopefully that will free the animals. When the Daedric influence is gone, it should be safe to restore the village. My poor neighbors.
So as you can see, every quest NPC is voice acted. The voice acting is fantastic, but once again suffers from the classic Western RPG fantasy thing of you can go into a village and every villager will have a different accent, and you think surely people living in proximity to each other might sort of have similar ways of speaking to each other, but no, you can have extremely varying accents.
In this old merry dominion that we're a part of, you have the rather jarring combination of talking to your Russian-sounding Khajiit guest, or from the Middle East, and then next you're like talking to some freaking Cockney Outmer. What, you slags? Why? It's sort of odd.
Yeah, it is quite bizarre.
Vast disparity between accents.
And they've gone down the route of using for any sort of villainous creature or posh person, going for the standard British, stereotypical British accent. Charles Dance.
Which also seems to be the Altmer just They all just seem to have, they're just British generally. There's no sort of consistency. We found Cockney Outma, and we found like, hello there, my name is Lord Ponsonby Macclesworth.
Yeah.
Sort of type Outma. Oh, we haven't found any Northern Outma yet, so there's that. If you find any Yorkshire Outma, let me know.
But we have obviously discovered that Tywin Lannister, who is played by the actor Charles Dance in Game of Thrones, he voices one of the main storyline characters in this game. So we've got some big names behind it.
I always like having a distinguished actor doing some voice acting in a game. Help support the media. Even though the actor in question probably doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. What the fuck is a Daedra? Why am I talking about this?
One of the
I'm
criticisms
talking
that
about
I've
the gold
heard-
mines of Westeros.
One of the criticisms I've heard from players in this game is about the UI and the controls. It's almost geared towards console gamers because this game is being released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And I can see that complaint. The UI and the controls are fairly simplistic, and it does feel a bit odd, I suppose, for PC games.
Oh, look there, a sky shard.
I would speak with you. The energy
Hello.
subsides, but the animals are
Sky
still savage
Shards
monsters.
being
We'll have to try
a sort of
some-
minigame
some time
in this
studying
game
these
where you sort
monoliths.
of collect
I've
them
managed
and
to
they give
create a
you
little magical
essentially a
fog that
third of
indicates
the
their
skill
energy.
point for
I need
each one you
to-
find in the
we need to
wild.
extract the Daedric energy from these beasts.
Every 3.
To do that, we'll need a test subject. Meet me at my tower with your friend.
Yeah, so on this
That's
side,
sort
for
of-
example, there are 16 Sky Shards, and if you look in the achievements section,
Yes. They're not particularly well hidden, by and large. And they have this enormous beam of light coming out of them, which makes them somewhat easy to spot, so...
yeah,
Don't,
there's the list
don't
of
be
the ones
worried
that are
about finding them. It's not that difficult.
yeah, the list of the ones in Oregon is what I just showed you. I've just got another one. So that must have been my third, as I've actually now gained a skill point, because it's every 3 that you find. So I suppose this is a good opportunity to show you the skill lines. This is basically like talent trees from other MMOs. I now have 1 skill point to spend, and I can spend it in any one of these things. Every class has 3 talent trees. Every weapon has a talent tree. All armour types have a talent tree. Every guild or faction you join has a talent tree. Your race has a talent tree. And every crafting. So it's quite involved. I've been going down my spellcasting tree and my healing tree.
And one of the upshots of this system is that you don't need to make 500 million alts in order to get the most out of the game. The main reason to make alts in this game being primarily to simply explore the zones you haven't looked at before. But one character can definitely get you a lot more of the way than you can in Warcraft, where you sort of you level your priest or whatever to max level, and then you can only access a certain amount of the class of skills, so you have to level another one if you want a different experience in gameplay.
Well, you actually don't know, because the ZeniMax have implemented a system called the veteran system. So the level cap in this game is level 50. And when you reach level 50, you can then enter veteran ranks, where you are then able to start questing through a different faction zone. So we are the Aldmeri Dominion, so we would then be able to go and quest through the, say, Ebonheart Pact or the Covenant's quest zones at post level 50. and you would not encounter low-level players of that faction, so you would not be able to gank them. It would be phased and instanced to veteran players. I don't know how to use this gem on this bear. Anyway.
Got to bear with it, I'm afraid.
So yeah, you do actually with one character get to explore all three factions, which is nice.
Ah, good. Now let's see if I can banish the Daedric influence from this creature.
Well, you certainly banished the Daedric influence, you just set it on fire and killed him.
But it's not enough.
This will not do.
Now we have
Something
to go
here
to
flame
the
attribute.
cave.
My spell should have sent it
Cave
screaming back
of
to
Doom.
oblivion. There's a powerful Daedra nearby. I know it now. You have to... A moment.
What? Always a cave of
I
doom.
can feel something.
Right.
Off to the cave of doom, I guess.
Yeah, let's go to this cave.
Of doom.
So here's the character screen. It shows you your level, your experience, your magic, health and stamina. Every time you level up you get, I think it's 20 points in all stats. But when you level up you get an attribute point, and you can pick which one whether you want to put that in health, magicka or stamina, and then you gain additional points in that. If I'm not wrong, I think it's something like 29, sorry, maybe 39 points total you get. You can put up to 25 points in one stat, and then split the other points between the other two stats.
Oh, I picked up a great sword off this bear. I didn't see it carrying a great sword.